our third session of the Eat Well Cooking Club. And we are really excited about it. We did have a few more people that registered, so I'll go through the introductory slides. I'm Cain. I'll be the moderator today. I am the Director of Advocates for Community Wellness. I am a professional nutrition specialist. I also am a certified plant-based nutrition cooking coach. I had additional training in plant-based nutrition, have over 18 years of work experience in health promotion and disease prevention, putting on and coordinating wellness and culinary programs throughout the city. And I'm also the former Illinois State Cooking Matter Program Coordinator, which is a national nutrition education and cooking program. A little bit about Advocates. We are a nonprofit, a 501c3. We are a faith-based, non-denominational, holistic health promotion, nutrition education, disease prevention ministry without walls. In essence, that means that we bring our programs to where you live, where you work, learn, play, and worship. Our programs and wellness events that we have throughout the year is to help to prevent heart disease, cancer awareness, diabetes education, and mental health promotion. Those are 4 anchor initiatives that we promote throughout the year. Our mission is to, in a nutshell, is really to promote wellness. And our goal is that we're seeking to raise awareness and increase education in individuals, families, and communities. Number 1 is to identify, prevent, and reduce risk factors linked to chronic diseases and conditions. 2, promote the 8 dimensions of wellness, as you see listed here. And June segment has been dedicated towards financial wellness. Our third goal is to help others to grow, is to increase our knowledge. We want to prosper in all things and be in good health in body and soul. Okay, so today's presenters, we have Doug Home, who is with Thrivent Financial Consultant, and Karen Carruthers. Bryce Carruthers, she will be leading us in our nutrition piece. And then today we have a special guest, is what we call Next Gen Chef Mansol. He's going to be joining us and leading us in our cooking demonstration. Okay, Karen. Well, Karen Carruthers, she's a founder of Keystone Educational Corner. She's the author of 2 books. She's a bilingual Spanish licensed nutritionist and a consultant. She has a bachelor's degree in nutrition and a master's degree in education. She's licensed by the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago to administer food safety and sanitation classes. And she's also licensed by the American Red Cross to teach CPR and first aid classes. All right, so before we get started, we just want to cover our disclaimer, waiver, and consent. The information that we're providing in our wellness form is intended for information and educational purpose only. It does not replace the advice of your medical doctor or other health care professionals with whom you consult. We always like to share a little bit about the credentials and training of the presenters. Doug, he'll tell you a little bit about himself when he is doing his presentation, and Chef Mansol will also share a little bit about that. But we want each person to assume full responsibility to modify any recipes that we may provide you for your own personal health, because we know that some people may be sensitive or be allergic to certain ingredients. Just a notice too that all our Zoom sessions are recorded, and by being here, you're giving us permission to film, photograph, video, and audio record you. But you have you have the right to turn your video on or I should say your discretion to turn your video on or off um, to your likings. So June focus has been on food, mood, and financial wellness. And we centered around good food equals good mood and making better decisions about money. This is a biblical reference that I'd like to share with you for session 3. It states, it comes from Proverbs 22:7. First one is NIV, and the second version is from the Message. So the rich, oh, I think I had a typo. I was doing it last night. I think it's the rich will rule over the poor, and the borrower is the servant to the lender. The second version is the poor are always ruled over by the rich. So don't borrow and put yourself under their power. That's good food for us to walk in this year with and continue with life, is to, as Doug has been explaining about where are we on the continuum when in regards to our financial health. But he would go over those things. Okay, so Doug, you're first up. Want to share a little about yourself?
Hey, good morning to everyone, and it's so good to see everyone today. Dale, thank you for having me. And I got a shout out to Deborah. I'm looking at your background screen with that pool of cool water. I'd just like to go swimming in that someday. I'd like to. It looks really beautiful. Wherever you are, I'm not sure what, maybe you're just in your house, but it looks like you're in Hawaii or something. So that's very nice. Lynette, congratulations to you on your birth of your grandchild and being in Arizona, and sounds very wonderful.
Thank you.
And, I was just going to comment on that Bible verse, Proverbs 22:7, the poor is beholden, I'm paraphrasing, beholden to the rich. And so don't get in over your head with debt. I'm really paraphrasing now. Now that is, Proverbs are really great sayings, because the writer of the Proverbs, which was probably King Solomon, was saying, he's giving you truths. That's it's very unfortunate. I mean, he's saying the way things are, not necessarily the way we would like to see them to be, but it is a truism that when we owe money, we are beholden to the rich. The rich could be the bank or the credit card company or the store that you have a credit card with, whether it's Menards or Walmart, I don't know, all the different companies, or Kohl's, So that's the way things are. And so in one level, we have to work with that. So, I've been on all these calls, and I think I've talked about my background just quite a few times, but I've been helping helping people for since 2017. So what is that? 5, 6, 7 years. I'm sorry, 2015, excuse me. Prior to that, I was a teacher for 30 years. What I'd like to emphasize today, because it's going to come up here, you see my specializations, my personal profile, but giving back. These are the charities and causes that I'm passionate about. Cedarville University, Greater Europe Mission, Alzheimer's Foundation. So and I'll just do a little bit of review here, if I may. The last few weeks, as we've been talking, question has always been, where are you at? This is a rhetorical question. Don't raise your hand. Don't shout it out. Where are you at with your personal or even your family's financial situation? Are you struggling, surviving, struggling, stable, secure? And would it be great if we can get to that area of surplus, getting to that area of surplus. Well, what do you need to do to get to that area of surplus? We talked about financial habits to live by, and these are not by any means original with me. I just did not pull these out of a hat. These are areas which if you were to hear Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey or any of these guys who do financial seminars for a living, they would talk about this stuff in one way or another. They're proven methods. So number one, spend less than you make. Spend less than you make. Is there more money at the end of the month? Or is there more month at the end of the money? In other words, do you live within your means? If you don't, what do we do to remedy that situation? One of those things is putting a budget together, having it written down, cutting out areas where you spend money too quickly, whether it's shopping, whether it's fast food, whether it's subscriptions to online services like Spotify, going out to eat too much. All these things are not bad themselves. They only become a problem when they control you. And like that proverb says, you're indebted to that rich person or that bank or that company. So those are things we help with people with. Be wise with debt. What does your debt load look like? Do you have a plan for lowering your debt? Credit card debt is the worst. Mortgage debt is the best. Why do I say that? Because mortgages, home values generally go up in value. And we've seen that over even in the last few months where home prices have skyrocketed. And if you listen to the news, that sometimes the buying market cools off because why? Homes are just too expensive. So there'll be a little bit of a relapse in the demand, and then home prices cool off, and then the demand goes up again. So people are buying homes, they're remodeling, they're doing all these things. My point is that credit card debt is critical to work on. And by the way, I should just say this here, that this is what we do at my practice. We help people with these issues. And because my passion is having people be well holistically. And just like Dale talks about healthy eating and healthy lifestyle, this is part of a healthy lifestyle. Because how many of you have awoken in the middle of the night thinking about how am I going to pay that debt? How am I going to pay that bill? Moving on, protecting yourself against setbacks. We talked about that last week, where we have some structures in place. So if anything happens to you, you're protected. You have a plan to protect yourself. That could include life insurance. Some of you have life insurance through your job, but if you're retired, you do not have it through your job normally. Some of you have personal policies. It may include disability insurance, may include long-term care insurance, may include just having money in the bank for those rainy days. A friend of mine, they just their water heater went out, and they're not able to get the husband's disabled, and he's not able to fix it. He normally would be, but he had a stroke in October, I believe it was. He's not able to do it. But they have to wait a few days for that to happen. The point is they're coming over to my house to take a shower, which is fine. But you have money to protect yourself against setbacks. We start out with $1,000, and then we move to 3 to 6 months of cash on hand. We talked about all that last week. Now, let me move on. And in the few minutes that I have left, let me wrap up and talk about these last 2 points. I hope you can sense my passion for this, helping people with this kind of stuff. Number 4, having a long and short-term plan, having a long and short-term plan. So I went to college for, undergrad and diploma from Moody Bible Institute. Many of you have heard of, graduate degree in music. Best thing I learned in education, best thing I learned in all my years of college training can be summed up in 3 words. Believe it or not, 3 words. Those words are, you might want to write this down, have a plan. Have a plan. Have a plan for your life. Have a plan for what you want to accomplish, what difference you want to make with your life. Have a plan for what you want to do with in retirement. Some of you are retired. Some of you are working, starting a nonprofit. You have a passion for helping people in a different way, but have a plan. But think about this. What do you want to do personally with your plan? If you're a young person, you want to earn $1 million in your lifetime. You want to have $1 million in your retirement account. If you're retired, what do you want to do? Do you want to move when you retire? Do you want to travel when you retire? I had a client in my office the other day, and we're working through some of these issues, and we encouraged them, and always lived pretty modestly. He's a pastor, and we said, dream big. What do you want to do? What do you want to do in retirement? Because that's coming up for him. And he said, okay, we want to have an RV. Want to have an RV and a travel, like a pop-up or an RV and a truck. And we want to travel and visit the grandkids because he has kids in California and Georgia. So all over the place. Okay. And you know what else we want to do? Since we're dreaming, we want to do a European river cruise. Oh, that's great. Okay. We can add that to the mix. My point is, whatever your plans are, and I encourage you to have grand dreams. Doesn't mean everything's going to come true, right? Your bucket list is maybe not everything will come true, but it's good to plan. Here, I'll tell you one of my bucket list things. If you will indulge me on this. I'm a musician as well as doing this for a living, but one of the things I really enjoy is music and playing music. And you know, during this shutdown, this whole last year, my wife and I, we made a bucket list of stuff we wanted to do because we're sitting at home, right? I'm conducting all my meetings via Zoom. I'm sitting in my office, and you know, you're not able to get out, and you know the drill. You've all been through that. So I put down on my bucket list, I want to have a swing orchestra. A swing orchestra, what's that? Well, we play the music of Count Basie, Duke Ellington, Glenn Miller, Benny Goodman, all these great jazz orchestras of the past. So I had always had a small group, 4 to 8 pieces that we played in different places. So I said, you know what, that's a great idea. We're in this whole pandemic, I put together a list of about 120 tunes in our book of music. So I said, that's what I want to do. That's one of my dreams. That's one of my plans. So last Sunday night, we had our first performance of that group, and it went really, really well. Now, your plan is not to have a swing orchestra, I'm sure. Not too many have that as on their bucket list, but my point is to dream big with that, okay? The other thing I would say is giving of yourself. And so the last thing is give of yourself. Give of yourself. Life, and you probably know this, sometimes when I speak to young people, I've got to talk truth to them. Life is not all about you. Get out of your own head. Life, I would say, is about helping others. So think about what are the people, causes, charities that you care about? What are the people, causes, and charities that you care about? Maybe it's your church, maybe it's your parents that you care about and you are caring for them now, starting to care for them. Maybe it's a nonprofit. But my point is, get out, especially now that this COVID stuff is winding down. Get out, spend time giving of yourself, volunteer, and I would say this: you will be a better person, a more fulfilled person if you do that. And I just want to, there's my information. If anyone wants to reach out to me, please do. Give me a jingle. Love to be able to go into these things more fully with you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dale.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so our next segment is I'm so pleased to introduce to the group the next gen, abbreviated for generation, the next gen chef is Mansol Cole Kiwi. And he's going to share a little bit about himself.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Okay. You have the floor.
Okay, and actually, this is Carolyn, because
Thank
it's
you, Carolyn.
always easier to be introduced than to talk about yourself. So I want to talk about my marvelous godson who's been in my life for many years. He is a 2021 graduate of Homewood Flossmoor High School. Everybody say yay. He is also a farmer. His main focus is science, technology, engineering, math. He's a really polite young man, and he's one of the few people that I trust in my very expensive kitchen. And with that, I'm just going to have him take it away.
Hi, everybody. All right, so the main dish that we are going to be going over to, today is called a naan pizza. So if you don't know what naan bread is, it's a traditional Indian type bread here. The type of naan that I'm using for this dish is garlic naan. It's a garlic herb blend for the naan. So first thing that we want to do is, of course, layer up your naan. You want about 4 slices here. Want it to be layered and overlapping here, just like that. Let's see, there we go. Then you would want to drizzle olive oil on top of all of the bread. Just a generous amount, and kind of massage it in. This will help the bread stay together once it goes in the oven. Make sure that when it's overlapping, it's nice and tightly together. Next thing you will want to do is grab your marinara sauce. Here I'm using Simply Nature marinara sauce. The amount of sauce that you will want to use is generally up to you. It's completely up to your choice. Personally, I like a lot saucier pizza. I don't like my pizza to really be dry.
And so, Mansol, how easy is it to make your own marinara sauce?
This is just marinara sauce that I bought from the store. You don't need to make anything particularly.
Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much what? Tomato sauce and some seasoning and
yes, ma'am.
Not tomato sauce, but yeah, our tomato sauce or tomato paste.
Yeah.
And just as a chef on the side, okay, very easy marinara is just getting some Roma tomatoes, steeping them in some olive oil, okay, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper if you would like to add some diced garlic in there or onions. That's absolutely great. But basically to make it, because what happens is that the tomatoes, of course, because of their water content, they're going to break down. Okay, and they're going to embody the additional ingredients that you put in there. You cover that and just let it go on a simmer for anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. If you happen to have a hand blender, that's great. So you can smooth out the sauce, and basically you can put that in a jar container, and it will definitely keep in your fridge for a month or more.
Thank you. And we have a question in the chat box. Is Naan vegan?
It's Naan.
Yes,
Yes,
the number.
Naan is a vegan bread.
Okay. And because I was thinking, I didn't read the ingredients of that particular one, but if it wasn't, I know that you can make it vegan, because there's substitute ingredients out there to make it vegan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, do we have a picture of the Naan package?
Yes, I have a picture of the Naan package right here. All right, this is this specific brand is Tandoori Naan.
Turn it towards the camera. Okay, great. Yes.
It is the garlic flavor. Each one of these packets come into in a pack of 2. So if you want to make this specific piece of using this bread, you would want at least 2 packets.
But you can make your own personal one too, right? By using one of them.
Yeah. So if you want to make it for a nice size for like just like you and a few other family members, so that's what you want to do. At least get 4 slices. All right. Next step is to have your thinly sliced eggplant. So here I already pre-sliced the eggplant here. Want them to be nice thin slices, just like so. And you're just going to layer them right on top and just spread them out. Real quick, real easy.
You did a good job with that. I don't think I ever cut my eggplant that thin. I may have tried to, but you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Also, tell them that a little bit about you as you're working. I put in the chat that you've been cooking for a long time.
Yes, I've been cooking since I was at least 5 years old, I believe now. So that's about 12 years. I'm 17 now. So 12 years of cooking. I got into cooking from watching my parents chef it up in the kitchen. And then I also got an even stronger passion for cooking when I watched this movie called Ratatouille. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of it, but it's essentially rats in Paris that learned how to sanitize and cook. And they came up with some amazing food and saved a bunch of businesses. All right. So
Can I ask a quick question about the eggplant? And I've never made eggplant entrees, and I love eggplant. Do you peel it first and then slice it?
No, you don't have to. So what you always want to do with any food that you buy from the store is just rinse off the eggplant, and then if you have like a potato slicer, then you can do that to make real nice thin slices. Just going straight up and down from eggplant. Try to stay away from the seeds as much as you can. But if you were using a different dish besides like this pizza, then you could absolutely use the seeds if you want. But it's just my personal recommendation not to use the seeds, because you don't really want to chew into a seed when you're biting a pizza. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. No problem. All right. So after you layer your eggplants and stuff on top, you can go on ahead and chop some jalapenos. Now you don't have to place jalapenos in this dish if you don't want to. I just like a little spice. So quickly nice and diced jalapenos. Just spread them out over it.
So if a person wanted to have a milder taste, they would just take the seeds out, correct?
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's what I did. I didn't put any of the seeds in my jalapenos. I took them out previously.
Okay.
And then I just diced them up and placed them right on top to give the mild sweetness of the jalapeno, but also just a hint of spice.
Yeah. And so Chef Munsell, he did a little prepping prior to, so that his first debut of being featured on featured live would go smoothly. But he's a keeper.
Thank you. All right. Next up is you want to have grated Parmesan. Here I'm just using Kraft grated Parmesan cheese. Real quick and simple. It's not too many complicated things to this dish. All you want to do is just lightly sprinkle it on top.
That looks good, just like it is.
So after you have lightly sprinkled it on top, you want to go on ahead and grab your mozzarella cheese. Previously, when I made this dish, I sliced up my own mozzarella cheese, or got it straight from the deli. But here I have pre-cut deli slices, so that's fine too. 1 pack of 11 should do the trick. This is Happy Farms low moisture parched skim mozzarella deli slice cheese.
Mhm.
So you just want to lightly layer it.
So with the group, you may notice that this dinner menu is not totally vegan and all plant-based, but it is a form of vegetarian. And I think Karen could talk a little bit about it. There are about 3-4 different types of vegetarian. Karen, are you on real quickly to define?
Good morning, Dale. Yes, good morning, everybody. Could you repeat the question one more time about the vegetarian?
Yes, there are different, let me say, subgroups of vegetarian. Mostly when we speak of vegetarian, it generally means no dairy, no animal protein. That's the general definition of a vegetarian. But there are some subgroups of vegetarian.
Yes.
And
okay.
if you could just briefly share those amount.
Sure. So
You want to tell us real quickly first, Monso, what your next step is?
Yes. So the next step, after the mozzarella cheese, you would want to have cheddar cheese. So right here, I just have a normal cheddar cheese. I'm wiping off some of the excess oil. But for most times in this dish, you actually want to use ricotta cheese, I believe.
Ricotta.
Ricotta.
Yes.
Ricotta cheese. So you can use ricotta cheese, but in order just to add a little bit more flavor to the dish, I like to use cheddar cheese or a mild cheddar cheese. But right now I'm just using a regular cheddar cheese.
And I'll just have to chime in that, it also has to do with, this is old school chef, next gen chef. He can take a whole lot more calories and fat than I can.
Yeah. And for this particular recipe, I was reading some reviews on it, and actually the ricotta has a more of a milder taste to it. And so we wanted to get more flavor in it. And so that's why we went with the mild cheddar, and that was recommended. And so we were, Monso, and I think he has a couple of friends going to do a taste test for us, and he's going to write me back like a little review, thumbs up, thumbs down. I would do this, I would do that. But yeah.
All right.
This is Karen. So did you want me to answer the question, Dale?
Yes.
Okay, so there are different variations of vegetarians. There's lacto-ovo, there's vegetarian. So there's some vegetarians that eat eggs and cheese, but no meat. And they might eat yogurt, things like that. And then there's vegetarians that do not eat meat or any animal byproducts, and those are mostly vegan. So, and then you have some pescatarians that eat fish, but no mammal meat. And they might eat eggs, dairy, and cheese. And then again, you have those who are just strict vegan or vegetarian that do no animal byproducts at all and no meat.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Karen.
Sure.
I know it's always a discussion about vegetarian and vegans, and because there are people, human make exceptions to the rules to go on to fit their needs. But thank you for sharing that information. Okay, Marcel.
All right. So after you create nice thin strips of your cheddar cheese, or whichever cheese you particularly would like to use, you can just go on ahead and layer it in between the slices of mozzarella. That way there's no gaps, there's nothing else to fill it out. And once everything is all nice and melted down, it'll create a nice thin a nice layer of crust along the outside of the pizza itself. So just layer it as best you can.
You want me to get that preheated for you?
Yes, ma'am. After that, you will want to begin to preheat your oven. And put that slice right there. All right. Can you all see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So once the oven is done preheating, we will go ahead and put the oven into the pizza into the oven at a temperature of 425 degrees. You will want to keep it in there for about 30 to 40 minutes, or until you see a nice golden brown color on the top of the pizza. So once you see that, you can go on ahead and take it right back out the oven, and your pizza is finished.
Okay. So as Chef Carolyn was saying, if I am being mindful of my calories, and if I wanted to make a personal one of these pizza, I could just curve back on the cheese, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and since I'm making it myself, I can make it exactly the way that I like it, right?
Or another thing that you can do, if you don't want to use actual cheese, you can use vegan cheese. There's a lot of vegan cheese substitutes that you can use that will work perfectly fine with this.
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to finish dicing up the rest of my jalapeno while we wait on the oven.
Can I move this and then they can see your knife skills?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Cool beans.
Please don't drop the pizza. All right. So once you are finished dicing up your jalapeno or any other peppers you would like to use, just going ahead and put them in the bowl to the side. Right now, I'm putting them into a bowl that's already mixed in with bell peppers. So just mix them all together and then set them off to the side and the next step will be to start to make our salad. So the salad that we are going to be using is called an Antipasto Salad. It's nothing but chopped romaine lettuce, tomatoes, bell peppers, or any pepper that you would like to use. And normally you would use a type of turkey, chopped turkey. But today we are going to be using Morningstar Farms veggie chicken nuggets.
Can we use the square spring grains instead of the romaine?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So first things first, you want to start chopping up your chicken nuggets. I'm just going to chop them up into threes. You can into thirds. You can chop them into half, thirds, quarters, whatever you feel. I'm making a rather large amount of them because I'm feeding 2 other people here as well.
So if we were preparing this as being a vegan, I don't know if it was mentioned or not. I was multitasking. You can use a vegan meat substitute, and I believe they have some that looks just like those chicken nuggets that you have, but also too in a previous.
These are vegan chicken nuggets.
Oh, they are vegan? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All righty.
Morningstar Farms
Oh,
vegan.
that's right. You did say that. I'm sorry.
Yep. No problem.
Mhm.
All right.
Did you taste one last night to see how if it stack up to what you would
Yes,
normally?
ma'am. So the vegan chicken nuggets, they do taste pretty good. But you can use any other meat substitute that you would like. So whichever one is your preference, it'll work perfectly well with salad.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I know sometimes people complain, well, they may have some concern about the flavor with some of the plant-based meat substitute, but
Yes.
I always add extra seasoning to mine. And that's one thing when you're cooking yourself, you can flavor it to your liking and to get to a consistency and a taste that you like.
Absolutely. All right. So next step would be after you throw in your lettuce into your salad bowl, going ahead and throw in your peppers. You would also want to dice up some black olives real quick, or any other thing that you would like to use. It doesn't necessarily have to be olives. I know a lot of people don't like olives. So anything that you really particularly like, you can use as a side to add on. Then right on top of everything, you would add your meat, or in this case, your vegan meat. Then you would add a generous amount of olive oil. Just enough to ensure that it gets onto every leaf. After that, you will want red wine vinegar. Just douse the top of it. After that, you would want to use your favorite type of tomato. Here I have grape tomatoes. They're small and similar to cherry tomatoes, but just a little bit sweeter. So you can go on ahead and add that. You can chop the tomatoes up if you want. I personally don't like to do that, but if you want to chop up your tomatoes just to make it easier for you to eat them, then go right on ahead. All right. After that, you will want to add Dijon mustard. If I can get it open. All right.
Make me want to come to lunch.
Then if you have tongs or any type of salad tosser, you can go right on ahead and mix it all together. And after that, the salad's complete.
I really like how you did a lot of combinations of the dressings and just it sounds very flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
And Chef Marisol, I just want to say it's okay to have a personal relationship with your food when you're preparing it, which means that it's okay to put your hands in it and toss it. You know, I remember my early days in learning to cook and working with chefs. This one particular chef, he was executive chef, and he would say, you got to have a personal relationship, meaning like hands-on. So. Mm-hmm.
Wait, Dale, you got to remember this next gen. So
okay.
It's next gen.
But see, that's absolutely right. The best way to make sure that your food tastes as best as it can is to make sure that you put a good amount of love in it.
Yeah. That's in fact that's that secret ingredient.
Secret ingredient of every dish.
Someone can make the exact same recipe, you know, dish, and it don't taste the same. It's like something is missing, and it's that love that you put into it. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, can you show it at an angle that we can see it a little bit? And then, oh, okay.
It looks delicious.
A nice blend of colorful greens, black olives, your beautiful meat, and of course your nice red tomato garnish.
Mm-hmm. And this particular recipe, which is called Antipasto, which was a relatively new term for me. Actually, it was and so of course I had to look it up. And it is an Italian word that's used in the cuisine, but the they were saying the root meaning comes from Latin, which means before. The pasto comes from the root word pastus, Pastus, which means meal. So this particular salad or salads, but it could be anything. It says anything that you would eat prior to your main meal. So that's a little background on this recipe.
Yep. All right, and last but not least, this is a step that you can generally skip over if you so please, but it is to add a little bit extra garnish and a little bit more flavor and color to the. So I already told you all that I was just placing the cheeses and stuff on. So I went on ahead and mixed in the Parmesan cheese into the salad, and then I layered the top portion of it with a nice with a generous amount of cheddar cheese.
That looks great. Yeah, I love salads. That was my go-to dish when family gatherings and we all brought something. I would bring the salads. That's what I was known for, the salads.
Yep. And now, only thing we are waiting on is the pizza. Everything is melting perfectly.
All right, and we still have time. If it needs to bake, we still have time that we can come back to see the plating. But we did have a drink. And were you prepared to show the drink, or we could just talk about the drink?
Yes, in fact, I'm going to show the drink. So we're just going to walk across the kitchen here because this is the ultimate in simplicity. And probably to counterbalance the calories that are in that portion of the meal, here is our drink, okay? And because look, being a senior citizen, there's only so many calories I can take during the day, okay? And that pizza right there is actually going to feed about 8 people, okay? Along with salad. But here's the simplicity of our drink. And this
Tilt it down, tilt your camera down more so we can see the, okay, great.
Okay, great. I'm sorry, it's on the hand.
That's okay.
Now.
We're your second pair of eyes.
Non-existent at the moment. But here we have, and this is a favorite that we've been using for years. That's Newman's Own Organics organic green tea. And then also what I have is just some ginger. So literally, this is in one of those big pots, fill it up with water, take out 4 tea bags, remove the strings and labeling and all that kind of stuff, drop in the tea bags and thinly slice the ginger into about 10 thin slices. Let it steep, not come to a boil, so keep it at about 175 degrees. Okay, and in an hour, you have some really terrific tea, as evidenced right here. And I wish you all can take a taste because you can keep this tea, you can serve it cold, or you can serve it hot. But the thing is, in terms of calories, sugars, you're at about 0.
Okay.
Any questions?
Okay. So we can, while everything is cooking, I just need one of you guys to give me a heads up when you're ready to show the final dish. But, and I'm going to just try something real new. I usually send out the flip book, and we normally have actual slides of the recipes. And I'm going to see if I can open the flip book, having the flip book as a part of our presentation, and then we can flip through it to review the recipe. And it just saves me time in preparing the slides for the presentation. But I have to play around with that function as a part of the learning curve. Okay. Okay, sharing. And let me try again to pull up the string because I think Karen would be next.
Okay, give me 5 minutes if you don't mind, dear.
Oh, 5 minutes? Okay.
Or 2 if you don't mind.
Okay. So I am going to ask Doug, if he's still on, if he wanted to continue with a couple of slides that he didn't cover. So Doug, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here. I had problems with my internet, but until the tubes warmed up.
Okay.
That was a joke.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
thinking tube, that's one of those antiquated computers, right?
Yeah, see, TVs and radios used to have tubes.
Uh-huh.
Back in the 60s, I guess it was when I was a kid. Anyways, just a couple of resources for you. Couple resources for people switching gears between food and finances. At least they're alliterative, so that works out well. But if you're having trouble with some of these things or have questions with this, I do have resources. One of them is a personal cash flow worksheet. I would say don't worry about your annual budget. Be concerned about your monthly budget, because that's more important. I do virtually nothing with the annual budget. I spend all my time working with clients on a monthly budget. It's much easier, a little bit chunk of data to work with than thinking about annually. So let's say if you have an insurance bill, auto insurance due every 6 months, you divide that by 6 and do your monthly amount. Here we go. So anyways, here's another visual for you to thinking about when you're looking at your financial goals, no matter where you're at in life, whether you're at the protection stage. Protection is your life insurance, your savings, your budgeting, your debt management, all those things we talked about. Then accumulation, when you're working a 40-hour week, 9 to 5 with a job, you want to focus on your accumulation. You're building up the money in your 401k or your IRA or your retirement savings, whatever that looks like. Distribution, if you are retired, you're taking a distribution of a pension or a 401k or a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. All those things are very important to make sure we de-accumulate at the right amount. Now, if you have a pension, that's really easy. You have no control over that. If you have a 401k, you are in control of that, how much you take out each month. Social Security. When is the best time to take Social Security? Guess what? The best time to take Social Security is not necessarily when you retire from your career job, especially if you're 62 or 63 when you retire. Short answer is hold off as long as you can on taking your Social Security. Why? Well, because every year you wait, your payout increases by between 7 and 8%. 7 and 8%. So if you can hold off to take it at 67, which is full retirement age, or even wait till age 70, that's the last, does not go up after age 70. So you might as well take it at age 70 if you haven't taken it yet. Age 70, and then taking your Social Security, adding that to the mix. But then legacy, how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to leave something to the kids? Do you want to leave something to the grandkids? Do you want to leave something to your favorite ministry or your church or the any other a nonprofit, excuse me. So what are the best ways to do that? So we can always, those are things you need to be thinking of. Tax efficiency. When we work with clients, we always talk about tax efficiency. Why? Well, because the money you have now in the bank, you get your savings, checking, CDs, mutual funds, you get a 1099 every year. You pay as you go, as it were. Your tax later bucket is your IRA, your 401k, your 403b, your pension. When you draw those out in retirement, guess what? You pay taxes on those. Some of you know that already. Here is the other area which is very important to think about. Your tax never again bucket. You pay taxes now, and then when you draw out your Roth IRA, your Roth 401k, your insurance policy, well, guess what? You do not pay taxes on that money. So I encourage everyone to have a Roth IRA. I encourage everyone to have a Roth 401k option with their work. So to being efficient with our taxes is hugely important when we are thinking about our financial well-being. And then if anyone has any questions, I'd love to entertain those right now.
This is Dale. I was just writing in the chat, the tax never is a new term for me.
Right.
And when you made that statement, some of you learned, I learned the hard way. I did retire and I had this big chunk of money that I thought I had to play with. And then when I took it out, boom, the taxes, and that nest egg I had wasn't as large as I thought that it was.
Yeah.
And that hurt. But I
Yeah.
wish I had came across that term earlier, the tax never. And I wish I had taken the time to learn more, not to be so busy, to learn more about, all these various things.
And Dale, you bring up a great point, being too busy. And I get that. And that's, what I get that a lot. People are busy and I get that. And they'd rather have a root canal than think and talk about their finances. If you can take the time, even if it's a half hour or an hour on a Zoom call with me, help give you clarity is what I try to do. And I get it, kids, grandkids, and work and everything that goes on. I get that this is my job to help people with this stuff, with these kind of questions. If you have a little bit of time, I guarantee you it will pay off for your future self.
Yeah. And I think it's a good time too for the ones that have parents, even teens. One thing I did do is introduce my son as he was growing up in high school to get him a checking account. We had a savings account, and to just plant that seed early in life,
Absolutely.
about saving and having an account. And so I think it has paid off because right now he has his own. It was at the mayor. The mayor? Not the mayor. Mayor Trade.
Ameritrade, yeah.
Yeah, he got involved with the Mayor Trade on his own, and talking with his friends, buying that stock here and there.
Yeah.
But we start those foundations with them when they're young, and so that they can get to a point where they can have these. But I want to make one other. As I was looking at your other slide about the building and the pyramid and the protection, the number one thing that puts a person in debt is a health event.
Yep.
That could wipe you out, even if you have that good paying job. Okay. And if you don't have, I have a friend that said all your ducks in a row and lined up, it could put you in debt, and it can really just sabotage everything that you have built and saved. And so,
and absolutely. And that's why when I'm working with people, we try to put protections in place.
Yeah.
So if and when there is a health event, we have protection, a way to protect you. We deal in the certainty of uncertainty, meaning that we know that we all have these things happen and we don't expect it, of course. But we try to put things in place to protect you. So yeah, good point.
Okay. Karen, are you back on?
Good afternoon. I am Karen, the nutritionist, and thank you so much for being patient with my internet issues as well. So we have some learning objectives today for our nutrition segment, how to manage depression. And what we're talking about is food that promotes a good mood. So how to manage depression, what foods enhances your good mood, and then vitamins and minerals that help a good mood. So here are some foods that create a good mood, which are nuts. And they are healthy foods densely packed with fiber, protein, and healthy fats. Those are three really good key ingredients that will help create a good mood and help you feel full and keep you, give you that long-lasting energy. It's just to keep track of calories, and they can add up quickly, which is only why you need a handful of nuts. So try about 1 ounce of nuts a day. Mix nuts, including walnuts and almonds, and then munch on nuts containing omega-3 acids, omega-3 fatty acids, which are walnuts and almonds. Pecans are good too, pistachios, and that will give you long-lasting, long-term benefits. What else will give you a good mood is high-quality protein. So those are the building blocks of mood boosting diet. And grass-fed beef is an example of a healthy protein to include for balancing depression and diet. Also, according to the research team, grass-fed beef contains more of the healthy fats, such as omega-3 fatty acids, that might play a role in managing depression. But please remember, one serving size or one portion of meat is the size of the palm of your hand. So it's really only about 3 ounces. That's all we need. Something else, healthy fish. Fish is one healthy food that can help fight depression, according to research as well. In 2014, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition did this research. It plays a role in many traditional regional diets, such as the Mediterranean, Norwegian, and Japanese diets. And they have been studied and recommended for their antidepressive benefits. Try eating a 3 ounce, again, that's the palm of your hand, serving size of fish 2 or 3 times a week. And that includes shellfish as well, if you're not allergic to fish or shellfish. Whole grains. Choosing whole grains and high fiber foods over refined sugar and flour products is a good way to keep your body and your brain healthy. Keeping your blood sugar stable by not eating too many sweets or highly refined carbohydrates is a good place to start. Blood sugar stabilizes food, and that can definitely affect your mood by helping to regulate brain neurotransmitter secretions. So blood sugar can cause you to get a quick high of energy, but then it can also slam you down and get you way down and lethargic if it's like refined sugar or white sugar or pasta, white flour, anything like that. So you want to try to choose whole grains, quinoa, brown rice, couscous, things like that, that will stabilize your blood sugar. Fresh fruit is always a great one. The more fruit you eat, the lower risk of depression. Actually, fruit is, it's a natural sweetener as well. According to the review of research examining the correlation between fruit and vegetable consumption and depression, the results of the data show that fruit is rich in vitamins and minerals and micronutrients. So it makes it a great food to indulge when you want a sweet sensation. So you can substitute sweet fruit for candy bars and things like that. You can make popsicles, you can make a smoothie. The smoothie you can pour into popsicle molds and freeze that. You can make dried fruit leather. So it's so many things you can do to replace that sugar with fresh fruit. And what they recommend is about a half a cup to 2 cups of fruit daily. Of course, fresh vegetables would not be left off this list. You want to eat a wide variety of vegetables, which includes a lot of leafy greens and high fiber root vegetables. And when you have that fiber in your diet, it helps you eliminate every day. And the more you eliminate out of your system, the better you will feel. Higher fruit and vegetable intake also is a reduced depression risk, suggested that eating more vegetable correlates to the same outcome. So when you're feeling blue, try a carrot or try broccoli or cauliflower, and you can eat that with a nice low-fat dip. The fiber also will help protect you against low mood and depression. Sources of fermented foods, which is interesting. The new and rapidly emerging field of research into gut health suggests that a diet is essential in maintaining healthy intestinal microbiota, which also appears to influence behavior as well as your health. So fermented foods like kimchi, and you have these kombucha drinks now, but watch the sugar intake, sauerkraut, tempeh, and certain yogurts that are high in probiotics are really good for promoting good mood, fiber, and happy health. Beans and peas is another way. Mediterranean style diet has many advantages, including a potential role in preventing and managing depression over your lifespan, according to a study published in Journal of Nutrition and Aging, Health and Aging in 2013. Legumes and lentils, peas, beans, chickpeas are a large component of the Mediterranean diet. And then speaking of like a salad, you can add these kind of beans, cooked beans, red beans, chickpeas to your salad, and it just adds that extra protein. And then you can eliminate the meat and try to have a hearty salad, at least for 3-4 days a week. Also, legumes and other high fiber foods, including oatmeal, asparagus, bananas, they also support gut health by providing prebiotics. So you also have what's called prebiotics and probiotics, and those are very good, healthy bacteria for your gut. Depending on your age and gender, you should be eating at least 1 to 2 cups of beans a week. So let's strive to try that. And you can also do hummus. Hummus is made from chickpeas, and you can dip your favorite whole grain crackers in the hummus. Hot cocoa. So this is another great way, but make sure it's low in sugar. So the cocoa has what's called polyphenols, and this is good to get your mood boosted and also to help you feel calmer and more content. Another one, coffee. A cup of caffeinated coffee can boost your mood, but we want to be careful that we're not adding too much sugar or creamer to our coffees. And notice it's saying, about 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day is sufficient. You have some people who drink coffee all day, and that's a little too much. And just remember, even too much of a good thing is too much. Everything we want to try to do in variety and with balance. And that is it for the presentation. Are there any questions?
Karen, this is Lynette. That was awesome. I just really feel like you covered so much, and it's so reasonable for us to be able to select a lot from your list. It's like the fruits, the vegetables, the beans. You just made it seem like it's an easy way for us to lift our mood and be healthy. And I put in the chat, you also based it on the research. So that was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I want to add too, there was a relatively new term for me, because remember, this is all about learning and growing and expanding our knowledge. And we got to dig deeper. I mean, we have on the surface, but we're going to dig deeper, I think, in our future. But there was a term, pharmaceutical in your presentation?
Oh, yes.
It was a psychopharma, and I think psychologically, certain nutrients and phytochemicals and phytonutrients, how they affect our brain. And how things affect our brain, it will affect our behavior. So I hope everyone made a note of that.
Yeah, it was pharmacology. Can you hear me, dear?
Pharmacology.
Yes, and that was under the hot cocoa slide. But yes, this is a psychological effect. Yes, correct.
More than what. And so along that same line, remember we came across angry food. Remember that? And that would have a psychological effect on us as well, and we're not even aware of it. But you can really see it in children. Chef Monsol, are you ready for the plating?
Yes, he's ready.
He's ready. Okay, let me stop sharing.
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Pardon me?
I said, yes, ma'am, I am ready.
Okay, all righty. I said, let's pin you.
Do
you want me to pin them, Dale?
I did. Can everyone see them? Oh, that's beautiful. I have a personal relationship with my food. When I see something nice, and I think is that Johari had said, if you don't see the color on there, it's something something is wrong or something is missing. I'm like that, because I always like to see a little color. When we were going over the recipe and it was just at the cheese, I said, can you just put a little tomato on top? Because I like to see a little pop. you know, of color. That looks beautiful.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And and I like the little details around the plate. So I'm going to ask one of the things, if you can take actually take a picture of it that's nice and centered, and you'll send it to me, and I'll put it in our slide presentation.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you. Let's all give Mansol a hand. He did a great job.
Excellent job.
Yeah,
Yay.
yay. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Chef
And
Mansol, I think you're ready for TV.
yeah, we hope, yeah, we gotta get you one on those competition on television. You should go for it. You should go for it.
We
And if you want
support
some
you.
practice to get there, you're welcome to come back anytime. Okay,
right.
thank
Excellent.
you.
That's a-
I just want to show one slide of our next series that we're having. Our next series is just going to be 2 weeks. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to be out of town traveling for most of July. And so we're going to have just two sessions, July 21st and the 28th. Mark your calendar. You will get an invite. Please invite friends to the next session. And we're going to be talking about digestive health. Karen talked a little bit about the probiotics and prebiotics. We're going to go deeper into that and what it is and what foods they are. And then what the heck should I eat to reduce the weight around our waist? Okay, so Karen will be returning with me, and then Chef Millicent from Stonebridge. She will be joining us in providing. Now, the session is going to be held in the evening. Because we want an opportunity to people who work during the day, that we do it once a quarter, that we do an evening session. So we do hope that you join us, and watch out for the invite, and please share it and post it with your friends. And so that is it. We thank you for your support. We thank you for joining us. And as always, it's a pleasure in seeing you guys online. And I hope that you do find value, and I hope that you are learning and sharing what you learn. Okay, thank you.